What I've done, I've pulled a string line through to run with the frame and the tank obviously, and I'm gonna see about cutting the seat off so that it follows the line through. And it's not quite the same as the swing arm, but I'm not so worried about that, because you're more likely to see the body line rather than the swing arm. I've got to cut a bit off. I always go, when I do my seats, I go from where it starts to go here, where the radius finishes, if you like, there. From there to there, I always do 250. That's plenty enough for me. I'm more than comfortable with that amount of room on the seat. So I think I'm going to go with this F1 seat. I've got that Yoshimura seat there. It looks a bit bulbous. I'm not going to use it, I don't think. And I did think about a TR750 style, and again, I don't think I'm going to bother. I'm just going to put a light on there. I'm then going to, once it's all cut, I can manufacture something inside here, extend the subframe, and then like build the structure in, and then I can run a number plate off the back here, so that'll work quite well. I've got Brembo Masters for brake and clutch. These are off of an Aprilia RSV and the throttle as well. Again, I've used these on quite a few bikes. Used the switchgear from the RSV. I used the Gen 2, but it's like the pre-05, so you still got the light switch on it. After that, they did away with the light switch, which is a bloody pain in the arse. But these are just on for now. I've got to obviously powder coat these, cut the bolts down and make good and everything. Wheel alignment's pretty good. If you can see down there, I've got literally about 1.5 mil. I don't really want to take any more off. I could take 0.5 mil. This is about 1.5 mil off centre. So I may end up just taking 0.5 mil off and then just shifting it over. So it's 1 mil out of line. I've had me laser on there, and it's all pretty good. Just got to straighten up the seat. It's not quite level, but once I cut the front and drop that down a bit, it will sit a lot better. It's not sitting at the moment. It's riding on the frame on the edge there, look. So, but once I cut it and what have you, it'll be a lot better. So the caliper adapters have been made. Just got to open the holes out to take a 10 mil bolt and deburr it and what have you, and then they're ready to trial fit then. Got about 0.1 to take out. I took it up to size with a reamer, but unfortunately I don't have a 9.9 reamer. 9.8 is about all I have, so I just have to finish it off with a drill. But to be fair, the holes are spot on. There's no dragging them at all, so they're pretty good. Two tools I use for deburring, that is 6-inch rule, or in this case it's a 5-inch. Many years ago I left it in a guillotine when I was working on the aircraft, and needless to say it got the end cut off, but never mind, still can use it. And the other one is this, which is a deburring tool, spot on. So the deburring tool is great for the holes. Let's go around, give them a quick deburr, and then on the edges where they're a little bit sharp, just go along it with a the edge of a steel rule, and that just literally takes enough of the edge off of the burr without going over the top. And that's tiny bit more. You don't need to go mad with a file or anything, not an alley. That's good enough. That's spot on there. So that's it. Perfect. That's the right hand side bracket on, calipers on. Just checking with glazing packers, and by sliding those in, it gives you an indication how good the gap is inside the face where the caliper meets the disc. That at the moment is tight, and this side nearest to me is fairly slack. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to when I get the yokes made, I'll make the adjustment in the yokes for the fork centers. We're talking probably 1/4 mil, but we can get it right, so let's do that. I've had a couple of sets of these before for my bikes, and they come out really well. They're really like good, so that's perfect. I'm really pleased with that. The bolts that I've got there are fine thread M10. So what I've done, I've actually I've taken 3 mil off the end of the bolt, and then there's a washer either side with a lock nut. That's threaded, but that isn't. And yeah, so when they're all locked up, I've measured it, so there's 2 threads sticking out. I always like 2 threads. That's why I said before I'm going to shave that down a little bit. It's nice to have 2 threads, and likewise the engine mounts, those bolts there, I'm going to cut those down and change that for a lock nut. Yeah, just, I don't know, it's pleasing to the eye. It looks so much nicer when they've been coned off. These are the switches that I use off a Aprilia RSV. Quite nice looking. I always buy ones on eBay. If I see them come up for sale, then I'll buy them. It's got the light switch on it. Dead handy having the little blast cabinet. Does for the little bits and pieces. That's the caliper hanger. Yeah, it comes out all right. I've had the brackets made and they're going black, so I've put them through the cabinet as well, just so that the powder has a better chance to stick to it. So they've been masked, and I'm just about ready to powder them. That one's powdered, so in the oven it goes. The curing time for the powder's 10 minutes, but the parts have to be up to temperature, so obviously with the bigger bits they take a little bit longer, so I just put them in for like 20-25 minutes just to make sure. So yeah, we're looking all right. These are the brake reservoir brackets and what have you. And I've done the caliper brackets as well. So have a look at them. Again, once they cool down, they go a bit more matte, so they're not as glossy and as shiny. So it's just gonna put the camera down now and get the rest of them out. They've come out really well. Yeah, look good. Inside the holes here where the spindle goes, that's got high temperature masking tape in there. I've bunged them. They're threaded in there, but I'll end up putting a tap through those anyway. Likewise, that's in that carrier there. There's tape in there So what I try to do is peel the tape out whilst it's still hot. It's easier. That's the rear caliper setup. And then I've got the caliper there. It's only a temporary for now, but yeah, it should be good. I've just got to sort out the bolts for it. That's it. I'm going to clean the calipers up now. I've got some Wonder Wheels, I think it's called. Going to use that. That kind of gets all the grime off them, as good as they're going to get. Obviously they're second hand. I've got new stainless fittings, both bleed nipples and banjo bolts. Put those in afterwards. Get those all done. I've got new pads there for the calipers. Once they're done, I'll put those in. Quick one. See all the pot noodle pots? I've had these for donkey's years. I never chuck them because they always come in handy. So caliper and the bolts. Brake reservoir bits. And then clutch reservoir bits. And the caliper and the bolts are in there. That's the front wheel. I always set them out like that. They're the disc bolts, or whatever. You don't lose anything. It's so simple. So they're cleaned up as best that they're going to get anyway. New pads are in, and what have you. I've got new bleed nipples, stainless ones. These are done, the brackets are done. I'm having the top, I'm having Harris engraved in the top of the lid, but the brackets are on, so they're all tidy. I've got a brake light switch on order. That nipple there is 6 by 1. I've ordered those as well. I'm waiting for them to come. There's all the old bleed nipples and what have you. As you can see, the rust has set in. They're not a lot of good. Well, they'll work, but don't look very nice. There's some of the bleed nipples I've got, which I'll put in. Just waiting for the others to come. Calipers mounted, bolts are done. I've just got to shorten that torque bar. It's not quite short enough. So, but I'm not going to do any of that until I get the wheel fitted and what have you. So that's done as far as I can go. That's done for now. I'll end up powder coating that black to lose the bar. Don't want to really look at that. Powder coat it to match these and the yokes. The yokes are going, obviously. I'm waiting, but they're good enough for now. So, and then I'm going to look at the rear sets next. I have got some different pegs, some Harris ones, and some rubbers. I'll end up probably making the aluminium toe, the spigots. I'll make those, but I have got some of those. I just hope they are going to fit, but I'm not sure yet. I might end up making some of these new ones, or I have got some Harris F1 ones which were on the other F1, so I might make an adapter which you won't see, and I'll pick up the top hole, but the bottom hole I'll end up fixing into the plate, but I'll countersink it behind and fix it to the frame, so they'll be hidden. You won't even see it's there. Yeah, so that's it. All the pads are in, looking good. The bolts have been cut to size and everything. So they're my next job. Engine bolts, cut them down and what have you. Get those done next.